very deep, very thought-provoking. It has its triggers for some people, but it's also a journey of faith, healing, love, and progression. You've done well. You've done really well. The first question I'm going to ask you, what inspired you to write the book?
What inspired me was I needed to tell my story. I needed to speak truth and speak life into it. I just wanted to foster understanding for other persons who suffered and experienced what I did, what my generational line did, and to ensure that save someone or give them the encouragement to speak up and own their own truth, and not to let trauma take over your life.
Okay. Can you describe the main themes of the book?
Sorry, say that.
Can you describe the main themes of the book?
The themes to my book. It's about support, empowerment, liberation. It talks deep in some places, and if someone has a similar experience, it may be triggering to them. But during the course of the book as well, it shows you how you can heal from that trauma. And so for that's what I like to bring across and hope it comes across in the book.
As somebody that's read the book several times, it is very deep, and it's being passionate about getting your story out there. And there's times when you've probably been writing and you've had to stop.
Yeah. I've had to stop and seek therapy because what actually happened was I started to get a feel of driving, and the job that I was in at the time, as a duty solicitor, you go where your duty slots are. So I was in Coventry, and I couldn't even get on the motorway, expressway, things like that. And so I went for a friend of mine said, try hypnotherapy. So that's what I did. But then when the therapist when I came out and the therapist told me, she said, your driving isn't that's just the surface. There is an underlying traumatic service from your childhood. I thought, oh. So yeah, that's what led me to, she said, you are not going to see or hear or feel anything now. She says, as you said, the Pandora box will open, and it has opened. And then when that happened, it was 2020 still, and she said, I was on the two therapists actually, and the one said, start a journal. So I started the journal in 2020, and that journal is buried somewhere in my house because it was just all negative. Everything was coming before me. I was being aggressive in my tone with my family. A lot of things were surfacing. And so in 2021, the negativity started to die off, and then I started to feel positive because I started to deal with my trauma and get the help for it as well. So for me, that was quite traumatic, and it took me a year to write that particular chapter.
Okay. The early part of the book there's also emphasis on the early traumas, which is sexual abuse. Okay.
Yes.
So it's not the whole content of the book, but it's every at the beginning.
Yes.
How did you manage to put it across in the book in such a sensitive way.
I tried to be as careful as how I structured it, because I knew it would trigger people, because it was a trigger for me. It like buried deep in my life for many, many years. And even though I was traumatized, I was still a fearful achiever. So on the surface, if somebody didn't know what was happened to me, they would think just the norm. But it was really devastating for me as a child to experience what I did, and then my voice was numbed, so I wasn't able to speak up. My perpetrator told me that no one would believe me.
Yeah.
And the book for me is talking my truth, and at the back of the book I've started a community interest company, because I want to be someone for someone like me to confide in. You don't have to publicise yourself like how I've publicised myself, but you can get the help and you can get the support and you can do it privately, you know. It was difficult